So we're going to talk about fat loss and how you can achieve fat loss. The number one thing I want to tell you is give yourself enough time. A lot of people wait till they kind of feel like it's the last minute and they're like, oh my gosh, I have 2 weeks to lose this fat. At a certain age, it's going to take a little bit longer. The other thing is not even just the actual fat loss. It will take a little bit longer, but it's kind of the planning and the preparing and kind of getting into this rhythm. And your fat loss is going to be a little bit, maybe a change of your routine. So you've got to give yourself a little bit of leeway there to be able to make those adjustments. Okay, I would have to say the number one thing I would recommend is probably the easiest thing is to drink your water. Okay, so now a lot of you guys, like if you have a lot of extra weight to carry and you start drinking water, you're going to lose a lot of weight at first. And a lot of times people are like, oh, it's just water. However, I believe that once you shed, so what happens is if I'm holding on to water because I'm dehydrated, I haven't been drinking enough. As soon as I start drinking a bunch of water, my body and my cells are like, oh, thank goodness, there's water coming in. I can release all this water that I've been holding on to. And so, yes, you're peeing it out. So you're probably losing water weight. But in my mind, water weight is weight. And it's motivating because you're watching the scale come down. The other thing is you're holding that water somewhere, right? You're holding that water in your cells, in your joints. So you're feeling probably puffy. And once you release that water, you're going to feel much better moving around, and your joints are going to feel better. That means your workouts are going to feel better. It means you're going to move more in the day, and you're going to get more out of your workouts. So don't discredit the value of losing water weight. Okay. Plus, water makes your skin awesome. It actually does help your metabolism. It increases your metabolism about by 1/3. Okay, that's a lot. So it will also it helps your metabolism in that it allows your kidneys to do their job, because what happens often is when we don't have enough water is our liver will come in and try to do the work, and it will try to help the kidneys. But our livers, one of our liver's main functions, you may not have known, is metabolism. So if we let the kidneys, give the kidneys plenty of fluid and let the kidneys do their thing with all that fluid, our liver's like, sweet, I can just focus on firing up our metabolism. Okay? So that is one thing. I would say that's the number one easiest thing to do is drink your water. Okay? I want you guys taking notes if you can. Come back here and make yourself a list and decide which ones am I going to do. Okay. Now, the other thing that I think is pretty simple, it does take practice, but it's extremely valuable when it comes to fat loss, is eating your protein. I know I harp on this a lot, but it's super important. I'm going to tell you how to calculate. So if you have a pencil, write it down. You're going to take in your current body weight and you're going to multiply it by 0.8 grams or up to 1 gram per pound of your current body weight. Okay. So I weigh 143. I'm lifting a lot. I'm lifting at least 5 days a week, working out 6 days a week, but lifting heavy 5 days a week. So I'm going to go toward the 1 gram. If maybe you're only working out 2 or 3 days a week, I want you to go toward the 0.8 grams to get started. And, honestly, if you start at 0.5 and you're improving, then that's something. It's something to work toward. It's 0.8 grams up to 1 gram per pound of body weight. Now, take this. If you are a woman that weighs 265 pounds and you take that 1 gram, that's going to be 265 grams of protein. That is a lot of protein. And that is not necessarily actually that great for you. It could be very hard on your kidneys. So for you, if your protein intake is like, that is a lot. If you're over 200 pounds, even I'd say if you're over 170 pounds, maybe 75 pounds, I'm going to give you a different calculation. Okay. You're going to eat 1 gram of protein. First of all, let's back up. You're going to take your body height and divide it by centimeters. Okay. So, you're going to multiply it by centimeters. So body height, let's say I'm 64 inches. Okay. You multiply it in centimeters, find out how many centimeters it is. So that's by 2.5. And I did that math today, and it was something like, hold on, let's do it. 30, 32, 64, 8, 9. Okay, that gives me 98 grams of protein. Okay, if I took 1 gram per centimeter of body weight. Okay, so I took I'm sorry, girls, body height. Took my height, 64 inches, multiplied it by 2.5. That gives me 98 centimeters high, and I'm going to eat
1 gram per centimeter. So that's 98 grams. Okay. So that is reasonable for somebody my height. That's probably puts me around the zero point 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. Okay. If I was going to use my weight. So let me just repeat that. If you weigh about 175 pounds or more, use the centimeters method. Multiply your inches by 2.5 to get the number of centimeters, and then take 1 gram per every centimeter. And that's going to get you in the ballpark until your weight starts coming down. Now, keep in mind, it's very important that in order to lose fat, we have to keep recalculating. As we lose weight, we need to recalculate along the way because we're now a different person. If I feed that 265-pound person for months and I go by those numbers, then she's lost 15 pounds, I'm feeding her much too much. Okay, and I'm going to tell you about that. There's actually a section in our new playbook about calculating your calories and your macros and all of that. The most important thing about fat loss is you have to be in a calorie deficit. That means I have to eat fewer calories each day than I burn. It doesn't have to be massive. In fact, I usually recommend that you go with a smallish calorie deficit, so you're not hacking off 500 calories right at the get-go and then you're starving to death. I personally am hacking off about 100 to 200 calories each week, and I'm slowly creeping into I was eating about 1,800 to 2,000 calories. It was hard work so that I could put on muscle. And now I'm slowly trying to creep my way down over the next 8 weeks to 1,400-ish calories. Okay. I'll talk a little bit more about what to do with those calories in a minute. But the key is to be in a calorie deficit. So eating fewer calories than you burn. Okay. Each day. The problem with this is I get a lot of people that are like, they get on the scale and they get super frustrated with their weight's not moving. And I'll say, okay, how are you doing with your food? I think I'm doing good. Well, how do you know if you're not actually tracking it? If your goal is fat loss, it's really important that you track your calories. Now, if you have a lot of weight to lose and you just start doing portion control and kind of just start slimming things down just based on your hunger, energy, and cravings and how do you feel? Again, it's all in the new playbook. I'm so excited for this, you guys. It's going to be so great. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. If you start going based on that, you're going to do fine for a while. They call it newbie gains. So if you've got a lot of weight to lose, just by kind of reducing your portion sizes and eating better food, you're going to lose a good amount of weight right off the bat. If you're smaller and you're closer to your goal weight, it's pretty important to be tracking because you're getting down to kind of like the nitty gritty where you need to kind of have a better handle on how much you're taking in. So I use the Fat Secret app, and I love that. I find it to be very educational. I know I told a lot of you guys about it. So I'm going to tell you, it's in the playbook, but I'm going to tell you how to calculate your calories. For fat loss, you're going to take your current body weight. So I'm going to take mine. I'm going to go 143, and I'm going to multiply that by 10. That's easy math. That's 1,430 calories a day. That's a really low day, and I'm kind of working toward that. And then I'm also going to take that, I'm going to multiply it by 12. So that would be a day that I'm more active. The 4,300 times 10 would be like an inactive day, a Sunday when I'm just kind of putzing around the house and I'm just kind of, I'm not working out. Let's see, I'm going to do that math. That gives me, I lost the math. It's going to give me about 200 calories more on my active day, okay? If I'm taking in about 10 to 12 calories per pound of body weight, that's going to put me in a range for my current weight that's going to have me losing some weight. I do have some more specific calculators you can use that are going to give you a little more specifics. But in a nutshell, that's a pretty good method to use to figure out your calorie deficit, okay? And like I said, I gave myself 143. Let me see what my 12 is. That was weird. Here we go. 6, 8, 2, x 3, 4, 1. Okay, that gives me 1,600 and, 1,716 calories a day. So it's about 350 more calories on my active day, okay? And as I told you before, I was going about 1,800 to 200 calories. So I'm going to slowly work my way down to 1,400 calories so my body doesn't freak out. That's why you want to start early. It's just make it nice and simple. Give yourself a long runway. Okay, so must be in a calorie deficit. So you have to eat fewer calories each day. I mean, roughly 200 calories fewer each day is going to do the trick for a lot of people, okay?
So that's it. Calorie deficit. You must eat that protein. I think that protein, the beauty of that protein is it's going to keep you fuller longer. It's going to keep muscle on your body. Muscle is your metabolically active tissue. It's going to help you keep stoking that metabolism. Okay. So I would always start with find my calories, figure out how much protein I need, and then build the rest of it, the carbs and the fats around the protein. Okay. All right. So that is about everything we have for, well, let's see. Let me go on to calories a little more. Okay, one thing to note is that when you start losing weight, there's less of you, correct? There's less of you. So if I was to drop to 120 pounds, that's now 23 pounds less of me. If I keep eating at my 143-pound calories, I'm gonna start stalling for sure. Okay. So as you start losing weight, maybe every 5 to 10 pounds, you're gonna start readjusting, or just look at the scale. And if you notice that it's starting to kind of plateau, and you're not noticing many changes, it's time to probably check in, recalculate your calories and your proteins and all those things. Okay. Um, so there's just less of you to feed. Okay. And your body won't need as much. So don't worry that, like, oh my gosh, if I lose weight, I'm going to starve because I'm never going to get calories. Your body won't need as much. You have to think of your body much like a fuel tank on your car. If I'm going to go all the way to Boise, I'm going to have to stop and refill it a few times. If I'm only going to Coeur d'Alene, I can get away with one tank of gas. Okay. Kind of the same thing. If I'm a 265-pound person, I'm going to need more to fill my tank. If I'm a 150-pound person, I'm going to need less to fill my tank to get the job done. Okay. The other thing to remember is as you lose weight, you actually become a little bit more efficient at the same activities that you've been doing. Okay. So then as you start to lose weight, it's time to start adding some more activity. So some more walking, start increasing your daily step count by maybe 1,000 steps a day, and start slowly increasing your movement. So it's really important to remember, if we throw all of these things on you at once, if we start reducing your calories, increasing your protein, increasing your movement, you're probably going to lose weight, but you don't have any tools left in the bag. This is why I like to kind of drag it out and stretch it out over an 8 to 12 week period, is because now your body will adapt to the fewer calories. Okay, now what can I do? Oh, it's adapted to fewer calories. Now I can start adding some movement, some more movement. And so now I'm challenging my body again. It's going to be like, wait a minute, we were doing fine on, I don't know, 8,000 steps a day with her occasional workouts and that calorie load, but now she's moving more. So now I think I need to ramp up my fat burning. Okay. So we want to kind of like drip these tools out. Or if you got to a point where you weren't drinking enough water, you kind of dip down, start ramping that back up and use that as a tool. Okay. All right. So again, let's see. We're going to drop calories fairly slowly. Here's the new thing. When you get to your body weight or close, it's not a bad idea to just stay at a maintenance weight. Okay. For a little while and let your body go, okay, we're okay. She's lost 15 pounds, because I was kind of worried there was like no food and that she was going to eat worms and crickets. But if you increase your calories just a little bit, and I'll tell you how to do that, and give your body some maintenance calories and just be there for a few weeks, your body's going to be very happy with you. I know it takes a little longer, but your body's going to be like, okay, there's nothing to freak out about. And then you can go back into a calorie deficit. Okay, so it's kind of a stair-step method. Everybody thinks that fat loss is just linear, but it really works best when you do a stair-step. So to determine your maintenance calories, you're going to take whatever weight you're at when you get to that point. Let's say you've dropped 15 pounds and things are kind of plateauing. That's a good sign that maybe you need to do a maintenance phase, a couple of weeks. And you're going to take your current body weight and multiply it by 13 calories per pound of body weight. And that's going to be your maintenance. And the cool thing is you now know, okay, I've been restricting a little bit, little by little. Now I get to add a little bit more. The key is it's kind of, you have to practice being a detective. You might gain a pound on that, adding, going back to maintenance calories, but honestly, your body's protecting you from things freaking out. So don't freak out if you gain a pound or two. That's okay. You've lost 15, right? So get yourself to where your hormonal metabolism is happy with you and it feels very safe and comfortable, and then start dropping down again. Okay. I like to do things like, if you're going on vacation, plan that maintenance piece for while you're on vacation, because you're probably going to eat more on vacation or around the holidays. So back yourself up around times that are going to be, a little more difficult to eat clean. Okay. Then let's see. The last piece I have for you is fat loss when it comes to your activity. This is kind of an outline
you should be doing to get the maximum out of it. If you're not to this outline point yet, think of these as little tools in your bag that you could start implementing when things kind of stall, okay? Okay, when it comes to strength training, 3 to 5 strength training sessions a week is ideal for fat loss, okay? If you're at 2 times a week, that's okay. You're gonna get that home workout stuff. So you can take one, you can start by adding one more session a week at home, or you could, of course, you can jump up with us to another time a week, okay? And then slowly start increasing, maybe for a few weeks you're doing 3 sessions a week. And then for a few weeks you're doing 4 sessions a week, okay? And we're kind of creeping in. Remember, it's a tool bag and you want to have some tools to pull out of the bag so your body has to constantly adapt. Okay, so as far as strength, 3 to 5 sessions. What we typically say, once you've been training for a while with weights, it's about 3 days a week for fitness maintenance and 5 days a week for fitness improvement. So I want you guys all to know that. If you're only here at 2 days a week and you've been here for a while, you got to start probably adding in another 1 or 2 sessions, whether it's here or at home, but something that really challenges your muscles, okay? Okay, check that one off. And then as far as your cardio, when you're in a fat loss phase, you are going to be doing about 3 moderately intense cardio workouts a week. That could be your HIIT workout here at the gym. It could be boxing. I would definitely say your boxing falls into that cardio. It could be our Metcon strength training. That's the Friday one. That's that strength endurance. That definitely gets the heart rate up. Spartan training probably is counting as that. Even though you're doing strength, you're still getting some good heart rate in there. That could be using an elliptical trainer or a recumbent bike or a treadmill a couple of days a week. Now, I don't love cardio as a basis for like your program long term, but it's a great tool because that's a whole other video. But it's a great tool for when you're trying to get in a fat loss mode. So what I'm doing right now is I'm doing strength training. Well, let me finish this out and I'll tell you what I'm doing. Okay, the next one is walking. You could not harm yourself in any way by walking every single day. Okay. Getting more steps in per day, whether it's going for a walk or getting, just steps around the house. But I highly recommend adding walking when you're trying to go through fat loss. The walking does not have to be hardcore. It basically should be low level. Outside is ideal because of the way that plays with your stress levels. It's awesome for your body. Your body, when it's in a relaxed state like that, is much happier to not store fat. Okay, so that's going to be at like 3 miles an hour, nothing big. In fact, I saw my husband pull up. We're about to go for our second walk of the day. So with that said, okay, and then the steps per day, like I said, you're going to slowly start increasing your daily activity. Somebody put a sad face. You're going to slowly start increasing your daily steps. So if you're at 6,000, bump it up to 7. The next week, bump it up to 8. The next week, bump it up to 9. Start seeing how you can get more activity in your day. So again, all these things are little tools in a tool bag, and just start pulling the ones out that you're ready for right now, but map out the next ones that you're going to employ, okay? So that you kind of have a plan for the next several weeks. Because we've got about 8 to 12 weeks before boat season happens, and this is the time to start. Okay, so what I am doing for myself, he's just about to open the door. What I'm doing for myself is I am strength training 3 to 5 times a week. I'm strength training 5 times a week. One of those days, Tuesdays, I'm doing a HIIT workout because my time is very short. The day is long and I start early, so all I have time for is HIIT, which is great. That's going to be one of my moderately intense cardio. Every day after strength, I'm trying to get a minimum of 15 to 20 minutes of walking. Some days it's going to be like up a hill. Today I did legs, so I just walked flat. On Wednesday, I'll do upper body, so I'm going to walk up a hill. And then I'm getting an extra walk in almost every day. About 30 to 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, like a long walk for the fat burning. And then always ramping my steps up to 16 to 20,000 steps a day. That's just because my baseline is typically 16,000 steps a day. So I'm slowly increasing it to get 20 every day. Okay. And then of course I'm in a calorie deficit, eating my protein, logging my food. If that sounds to you like, oh my gosh, that sounds like so much to keep track of, don't worry about it. I just want to tell you like what it could look like when you start practicing these things. But definitely pick the ones you can do now, map out the next ones you're going to add in, and we'll layer these things in. Okay? All right. I hope that helps. Go get a pen and map out a plan.